The lift began to vibrate as soon as I sat down. I could sense the downward motion. The voice that Finn and I had heard was silent. The lift clearly treated criminals and officials differently. And I'm being sent down as a criminal. Surprised at how calm I was, I leaned back on the seat. It felt just as comfortable as it had the first time. I suspected that the lift was descending at the same rate as previously as well. But this time there was only me. Finn wasn't here, and neither were the other police officers. I didn't feel alone, but... No, I do feel alone. With a heavy heart, I considered my life from that point onward. I had no intention of hiding or running. I was going to have faith in myself and try to live a just life. Too bad there's a guy down there with our number already. That said, I had been disarmed. I felt vulnerable without my sword. I told Finn I'd believe in myself, and I will. When he'd shown up suddenly, it had surprised me, but I was grateful that I'd been able to see him at the end. I hope they won't give him trouble for what he did. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I wanted to go back, but truthfully, I didn't know whether I would ever be able to. Finn, I want you to be strong. For your fiancé. Seems that I've arrived. I sighed, uneasy at the lack of a sword at my hip. Well, I can't stay in here. All right, then. I swear, Socks is just waiting out there with a sword like, hi-yah! So bright. As before, the sky in the depths was gloomy and low-hanging, yet bright. But for me, having slept until not long ago, it was too bright. I looked down and blinked. This distinctive smell, the dampness. I never thought I'd experience it again. My father used to tell me that life is unpredictable. I definitely didn't predict this kind of life. Oh. A long, dark shadow moved towards me. I looked up and saw a man wearing the uniform of the hounds. Oh.
Name?
My treatment already sucks. It's not like I expected him to start with a greeting and polite small talk about the weather, but even a little civility would have been appreciated. Cyrus
That's enough. I don't want your last name.
Why?
The criminals living in the Sanctuary District have no right to last names.
What?
You wouldn't have been sent here if you hadn't smeared your family name. This is only appropriate.
There was no malice in his voice. Those were simply the rules, and I wouldn't accomplish anything by protesting about them to him. I have to pick my battles. I can't rebel against everything. Well, that's pretty smart. Only a child would use this chance to throw a tantrum. I told myself that it was a ridiculous rule and nodded in acceptance. To myself, at least, I can say, bah phooey. I can still be true to myself. I walked away from the lift, swearing to myself that someday I'd be back. I'll be back. I wasn't given any chance to rest during the hour-long walk it took to reach the headquarters of the Hounds.
Criminals have to be registered. Sign here.
I was handed a sheet of paper and a pen by a second man. It asked for some basic personal information to register me as a resident of the Sanctuary District. There was a space for my signature. Criminal control, huh? I sighed at the Bureaucracy Division's name in the header of the sheet, signed, and returned it.
That's all. Do as you wish now.
As I wish? The man nodded impassively.
All the Hounds do is provide food, distribute medicine, and maintain order. We don't keep track of residence arrangements or provide any other assistance. I'd recommend you look for an empty house first. It doesn't concern us where you want to live. As long as you don't interfere with our work, we don't care what you do, even if you die in the streets.
All right. I wanted to tell him what I thought of that, but it wouldn't have helped. I don't want to deal with the hounds anyway. I might run into...
Hey, you there!
No, it can't be. A shiver ran down my back. Desperately hoping that I was mistaken, I turned around. Oh god, this guy. It's him.
Oh my. Do I see the rank 1 police officer?
I was prepared to run into him eventually, but I was hoping it would be a little later.
Sir Saxon!
Sir Saxon took the sheet from his subordinate with a dirty grin.
I see. What a pity that our noble officer has turned into a despicable criminal.
He must have known. He was commander of the hounds. He must have known I was coming. There's no other way to explain this timing.
What horrible luck to be thrown into the world's worst prison, Cyrus. Then again, I guess your parents had even worse luck. I don't think they expected to be murdered by their own daughter.
Saxon grabbed me by the hair and pulled me violently towards him. Dang, dude, you have got my number, and then some. Although I like that she's already dropped the sir.
I am the law here. I am everything. You and the others have no rights here. You're garbage. If you rebel against me, I will hunt you down and slit your throat. Remember that.
You give me ample warning for someone who hates me so much.
Hate you? Don't get conceited now, girl.
Saxon let go of my hair and pushed me back.
Hate, huh? No, you're just a toy. Breaking the toy right away is no fun. Your body and mind will be broken. Your pride will be trampled on, along with all you hold dear. I'll make you curse the fact you're still alive. Until then, try to be a proper toy and amuse your owner. Me.
Saxon gave me a thin smile and walked away, disappearing into the building. His subordinate followed him. Men like that didn't frighten me. But now I'm powerless. If I resist, he'll kill me, and that'll be the end of it. I needed to become powerful enough to fight him. No, first I need a place to sleep. Priorities. I had to find shelter before nightfall. Maybe that boy we helped will know a spot. And where I can get food. I have to find a place to sleep. I walked and walked, looking everywhere, but couldn't find somewhere to stay. I went over my memories of what I'd seen during the observation. I couldn't remember anything like an inn. Besides, I have no money. I couldn't pay the innkeep. I paused to rest on the edge of the road. I never dreamed I'd have to find a home down here. My parents had been killed, I'd been framed for the murder, and then I'd been exiled. And it had all happened in such a short amount of time. Even now, I couldn't pause to regroup and gather my thoughts. The sun is even lower now. A few hours more and the streets would be completely dark. Waiting until then would make finding somewhere to sleep even more difficult. Well then, guess I'll keep looking. I ignored my fatigue and began to walk again. Oh, I like that transition. I turned off the main road and went down a narrow side street, emerging into a quiet area. This looks like where Bradley would rip your throat open, girl. The smell. It smelled of dirt, blood, mud, and dust. It was an unsettling smell, as if all things contaminated had been gathered in one place. Still, I don't have any choice. I checked all the buildings along the main road and found nothing. Moving outward to the buildings further away was the logical next step. I wonder if I'll find anything. I'd resolved to accept anything that offered shelter, but to no avail. The other residents were too preoccupied with their own survival to help me with mine. I need to find something. I didn't have the luxury of lapsing into contemplation or of being picky about what I was looking for. I couldn't stay clean and beautiful forever if I was going to survive. Atta girl. Proud of you. Despite my determination, no amount of searching offered a solution. As the darkness grew, so did my anxiety that I wouldn't find anything. I felt very alone. I put my hand to where I knew my pendant lay beneath my clothes. This place is so quiet. I probably shouldn't be here without a weapon. I was beginning to consider heading back to the main road. Oh, it's you! Huh? Ah, I was hoping I'd run into you. Yes, it's you! I remember you! A lively little boy with a large hat ran towards me. And you are... You don't remember me? I bumped into you the other day. You saved me from the scary guy from the hounds. Oh, that was you! Do you remember now? He gave me a carefree smile. He seemed at ease, not at all like when he'd been near Saxon. I'm surprised you recognized me. Of course, you saved my life. My mother told me I should always remember when people do something for me, even if I can't do something in return. I see. Your mother sounds like a great person. The boy laughed happily. Then he gave me a questioning look. What are you doing here? You're not wearing the clothes from last time either. Oh, right. You see, I'll be living here now. I avoided saying that I was considered a criminal now. I didn't want to say it. The boy made a noise of acceptance and didn't press for further information. I felt a little better. Where are you living? Is it close to my house? You could come by sometime. No, I don't have a place to live yet. I see. Oh, I know. You should come to my house. Your house? Yeah, I think we have enough room for another person. Aw. What a sweetheart. Are you sure that's okay? Are you sure that's okay? What's your mother going to say? I just have to ask her. You mean a lot to me. I'm sure she'll love it. Wanna bet? Children shouldn't gamble, but I guess we can give it a try. All right, this way. I'll show you. The boy smiled and began to walk away. I didn't expect to be saved from my situation by a child, but... I mean, I was kind of hoping. Personally. When I'd still been a police officer in the Heights, all of this would have been unthinkable. I looked up at the shadow that split the sky in half. At the end of it was the home that had exiled me. I'm so far from where I was. My thoughts overwhelmed by the horrific day behind me, I followed the boy's small silhouette. Here we are! Come in! Thank you. Hey, Mom! I'm home! Feeling uncertain but optimistic, I followed the boy inside. Oh, hello, Mom. You're cute. Gosh, you're so late. Who's your friend? The woman, presumably the boy's mother, was far younger than I'd expected. She was taller than I was and had soft black hair tied into a side knot, also known as the mom hair. It looked to me like she probably had a meek, gentle personality. The woman who saved me. I told you about her, right? Her name is... The boy looked at me in surprise. Then he smiled at his mother. I don't know her name. That's right. It was only then that I realized we'd never introduced ourselves. I'm Cyrus. I had a feeling that I wasn't supposed to give my last name to other residents either. The thought made me hesitate for a moment. In the end, I just repeated myself and gave a bow. I'm Rylath. The boy is my only son, Merlot. Rylath and Merlot. It's nice to meet you. Merlot gave a broad smile, then walked over to a water jug. He used the ladle to scoop some out and washed his hands, and apparently a lot of the floor as well by the splash. Mom, she doesn't have a place to sleep. Can we let her stay here? She doesn't. Was she chased out? No, not chased out. I arrived today. Oh, I see. We all have our reasons. Rylath placed her head in her hand and smiled softly at me. We're eating dinner now. Wash your hands and sit down. Oh no, I couldn't bother you for dinner, too. Don't say that. We have to help each other out. It's hard for a woman to live alone here in the Sanctuary District. You have to take advantage of these opportunities. Thank you, but I have nothing I can give you in return. I haven't told you anything about myself except my name. Sharing your food and home with me. Isn't that reckless? Oh, so you don't need it. You're not hungry? I'm hungry. Then don't worry about it. You saved Merlot, right? He's everything to me. I can never thank you enough. I couldn't have defended him as you did. Your actions tell me that you can't be a bad person. Do they? Yes. My work gives me a good intuition for people. I know you're hesitant to accept my help, but please let me until you're established here. Rylath. I told you to wash your hands and then I kept you from it. Rylath put her hand on my shoulder encouragingly and went to the stove. I have a good feeling about her. I looked around the house as I washed my hands. There was only one door, no other rooms. I saw 2 small beds next to the wall. Sleeping, eating, being together. It all happened in this room. When my hands were washed, I sat down beside Merlot. Are you making a special meal with her here? Just a normal one. It's too sudden to prepare something special. Merlot gave a slightly disappointed laugh. Sorry. I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Please, don't mind me. She placed bean soup and some boiled potatoes on the table. Merlot began to eat, and I took this to mean that this was all the food there was. I'm just glad I get to eat. Although I was surprised at the simplicity, my stomach responded to it like to a kingly feast. I picked up a wooden spoon and began to eat. Oh. Do you like it? It's very good! Really? Even if you're just saying it to be polite, that makes me happy. No, I mean it. It's alright. Your family is wealthy, right? I can tell from your gestures. And you wouldn't have eaten this up there. I'm serious, though. It tastes great. It may be simple, but it's warm, and it makes my heart feel full. I bowed my head, thanking her. I thought I'd never have a welcoming family meal again. I was truly happy and grateful. I'm glad Merlot approached me. I remember times when I'd eaten together with my parents and thanked my little savior. He's a good boyo. The next time I glanced at the window, it was dark outside. Merlot was asleep, having gone to bed right after dinner. He's already sleeping. I'd never had a sister or a brother. I'd never had the opportunity to see a sleeping child up close before. I watched him, studying the details. Hopefully I'm not freaking out Rylath. When he eats dinner, he falls asleep almost immediately. It's incredible. Rylath laughed and began to wash the dishes. I wiped down the table, replying that sleep was when children did their growing. I
hope so. He's not eating a lot. It worries me.
I was about to ask Rylath a question, but yawned before I could.
I'll take that as a compliment. You should get some rest, too. Take my bed, and I'll share with Merlot.
I wanted to protest, but constantly resisting all her kindness would have been impolite as well. I nodded. Thank you very much. She is so kind. I crawled under the blanket and closed my eyes. Ryla's bed was different to my own, stiff and hard, but I was so exhausted that I was already drifting off. I'm glad I found a place to sleep. Considering that I'd been ready to accept any shelter I could find, things had worked out extremely well. I wasn't able to repay Rylath yet, but I resolved to find a way to do so in the future. I heard a soft sound and woke up. Is someone here? I squinted through half-closed eyes and saw that Merlot was still sleeping. His mother was no longer next to him, however. Rylath must have left. I wonder what she needs to do so late at night. Curious, I stood up and went outside.
Oh?
Rylath. Rylath was standing outside the door.
You can't sleep? Or did I wake you up?
No, I just woke up. What are you doing here?
Praying to Saint Une.
Rylath was looking up at the sky. It was dark and opaque, its texture only interrupted by the even darker shape of the pillars supporting the heights.
I'm praying for Saint Une to save the souls that were thrown into the depths. Or something. I don't have much hope for it.
I see. Thrown into the depths. You came here from the heights too?
Yes. I was punished for my terrible sins.
Rylath gave a wry smile, leaning against the wall of her home.
You see, I fell in love.
Love?
Yes. But not with the person the temple had designated for me. We were found out and both sent here. We told each other that together we'd be able to survive, but one day he was gone and I was alone. It's stupid, really. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't loved him. I was an idiot. My designated spouse wouldn't have left me alone in the depths. I wouldn't have been in the depths in the first place. I don't understand how I let myself get swept up like that. I guess love's just not easily controlled.
Maybe. Rylath looked at me in surprise.
Most of the women who end up here are punished for loving someone they're not supposed to. But not you. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. All our sins are the same now anyway. Some believe they can return once their name is cleared, but I don't think so. I've never heard of anyone being allowed to go back. But I still pray for it. I just can't quite give up. It's a bad habit.
She smiled again and looked at the sky. You can't, huh? Is it hard to travel back?
Hard? There's no way to. They sent us here because they don't need us anymore. How would we travel back?
I see. I wanted to return no matter what, but if there was no way back, did I have to give up?
Do you think Saint Une will listen to my prayers if I simply wish to make it through another day?
Yes. I'm sure he will. I followed her example and prayed to the sky. Your Grace, please listen to Ryla's prayers. I will fight for myself. I will be true to myself no matter what happens. I'm getting Fontaine vibes for Rylath.
Hey, miss! Miss, the sun's up!
Yeah, well, you weren't praying in the middle of the night, sir. Oh, you look so cute without your hat. Oh. I opened my eyes and saw Merlot looking down at me.
Good morning!
It was my first morning in the depths and surprisingly pleasant. I looked around the room. Did I sleep too long? What time is it?
I don't know. We don't have a clock. The people on the corner do, though. Do you want to go check?
Oh, no clock, huh? Knowing the hour might be normal in the Heights, but not here. I knew that wouldn't be the last time I'd assume something seemingly trivial. Before Merlot could run out the door, I stopped him. Where's Rylath?
She's at work.
Work?
Yeah, she works at the bar making drinks and food and carrying stuff.
Ah, she's a waitress. I wonder what kind of jobs they have here in the Sanctuary District. Maybe there's something I can do. I straightened my clothes and smoothed my hair, then stood up. Merlot gestured for me to sit at the table.
This is your breakfast.
He put a small plate of bread and jerky on the table. Thank you. My stomach woke up quickly at the prospect of food, and I sat down.
And here, important medicine.
Medicine?
Yes. Everyone living in the Sanctuary District takes it. Otherwise, we start feeling bad. Mom and I take it too. Here's yours, okay?
Okay. Got it. I found the whole idea quite strange, but swallowed the pill with some water. I can't taste anything, but for all I know, that's normal. You're not eating, Merlot?
No, I eat with Mom. I'll take you on a tour after breakfast.
Take me on a tour? Merlot nodded enthusiastically.
Mom told me to show you the area since you're new.
Merlot picked up his hat and jammed it firmly on his head.
All ready, let's go.
Okay. Egged on by my little guide, I wolfed down the rest of my food. Medicine, huh? What kind of medicine? Or is it a lie?
If we go straight in this direction, we'll come out on the main road.
So that's where this leads. I turned to look in each direction along the route.
Hey, kiddo! How are you?
Great!
Your friend's a cutie!
I know!
People walking past called greetings to Merlot. Are you some kind of celebrity here?
Celerity? I don't know what that means. I'm just me. Everyone here is my friend. I just try to get along with everyone.
I see. You had to get along with people in order to survive. That was even more true in the depths. I hope I can get along with them too.
Of course you will. You're a beauty.
A beauty?
Yeah, I think you're very pretty.
Didn't anybody tell you you're not supposed to talk to adults like that?
It's just the truth.
Merlot ran off with a broad grin. Hey! I followed him across the road. When I was still a police officer, I was sure I couldn't live here, but I'd hardly seen anybody on that visit, or any signs of life. The whole place had felt like an empty facade. Looking at it now, I see that the people here lead pretty normal lives. I was going to join their numbers. It wasn't that I no longer had doubts. I was still uncertain about how well I'd fit in. But my night with Merlot and Rylath had changed a lot for me. It had shown me that there was light even in the deepest darkness. I can adjust to any environment. The mood on the street suddenly shifted. Did something happen? Old habit made me reach for the sword I no longer carried. Heart sinking at the lack, I looked around. I can't see any of the hounds or anyone acting aggressively. There are sparkles. So what's... Hey! It's finally time! It's our boy! My goodness, I was wondering when you were gonna show up. A man walked past where I stood. That was all he did, and yet I couldn't help but stare. He looked completely out of place in the slum, well dressed from his coat to his boots. His demeanor was full of elegance and confidence. His movements had all the grace of a gentleman at a ball. Nothing about him meshed with the environment around him. If he's down here, is he a criminal? He doesn't look like one at all. I watched him, wondering at his identity. Our eyes met. I looked away immediately, but he had noticed me and approached with light, effortless steps. Oh, so close. Hello.
Good morning, my lady. You're clearly a connoisseur of men to be so enraptured by my sight. Please, feel free to look at me. There's no charge.
Thank you? The man smiled softly and resumed his strides. He didn't turn again before he disappeared into the distance. Who the hell? Such an aura. When the man had passed, chatter resumed around me. Judging by their reactions, the other residents saw him as just as much of an irregularity as I did.
Wow, that sure surprised me. Miss, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. He was just talking to me. And talking hogwash at that, I added mentally. Bleh. His clothing and behavior were completely different from everyone else here. Who is he?
Someone from outside.
Oh. You mean one of the natives? What's he doing in here? Huh. Interesting. Okay. Outside? Merlot nodded, pointing to the wall at the border of the sanctuary district.
He's from outside that wall.
Wall?
Yeah, from the depths.
Isn't the sanctuary district a part of the depths?
No, we call this the sanctuary district, not the depths. At least, that's what Mom and everyone else does.
Interesting. I see. I thought the depths referred to everything down here. I wondered what the world outside those walls looked like. Was it just more of the same, or... Merlot grabbed my sleeve and pulled me onwards before I could think about it more.
You have to be careful. He's really dangerous.
Oh, really? Dangerous?
Yeah, they say he abducts people. A villain.
A villain abducting people?
Yeah, but the hounds never give him a smack. It's so weird.
Well, I'm definitely not picking what a terrible man. I mean, he does kind of have a bit of a villainous air. I'm gonna go for this. How curious. Oh! What? 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 Where was he nearby to hear that? Does that mean there's a thingy? Where's my thingy? Oh! I got a little thingy. So it begins, huh? Okay. My choices matter now. Noted. Abduction. How curious. If he truly abducted people, he must have had a use for them. What use would people from the sanctuary district have to him? Labor? Slaves? I'd like to find out more about this. He looked like a man in a position of power. One way or another, I should be careful. Thanks for the warning, Merlot.
You're welcome.
Hey, Merlot, did you ever go into the depths?
Nope. You have to go to the big hounds building and tell them you want to go there. They'd never let someone like me do it. I don't want to go there either. It's bad.
It's a bad place.
I don't know. But everyone says so, like it's even more dangerous than the Sanctuary District. They say it's fully of dirty people who were born in the depths. They say it's not a place for those from Heights lineage. We have our pride.
I see.
I don't know what pride is, but we're special, so we're not supposed to go where the not special people are. Got it?
Huh. Well, interesting. There's a triple divide going on here. Good grief. He didn't have a grasp on the concepts he was parodying, that was clear. He raised one index finger as he spoke, mimicking whatever teacher had originally explained all this to him. A bad place where dirty people live. We're special. We have our pride. It's the same thinking I had when I was living in the Heights. That had been my view of the Sanctuary District and everything else in the depths, just like Merlot and the others now drew a line between themselves and the outside. I see. That's where it starts, I suppose. Okay, got it. A long time ago, there had been a flood. The chosen ones had evacuated to the Heights where I had come from. The people born in the depths were the descendants of those who had survived the deluge, fundamentally incompatible with us. Okay. I suppose, even exiled as they are, they still retain some pride of being from the Heights originally. It surprised me to learn that there was a social hierarchy in the depths, but the similarity to systems from home made it strangely attractive. Oh no. Not like this.